Sarah Thompson stepped out of her old pickup truck and onto the gravel lot of Elmwood Air Base, just outside the small town of Oak Ridge, Texas. The sun was high, beating down on the flat landscape dotted with hangars and runways. At 45, Sarah moved with a steady grace, her short brown hair tucked under a faded cap. She wore the standard maintenance jumpsuit, but it hid the scars from years of service. No one here knew her story, or so she thought. Elmwood was a quiet base, home to a fleet of AC-130 gunships. These massive planes, with their big cannons, were legends in the Air Force. Sarah had taken a job in the maintenance crew after retiring from active duty. It was simple work, cleaning, checking parts, keeping things running. She liked the routine. It kept her mind off the past. But the younger folks on the crew didn't see her that way. "Morning, Sarah," called out Mike, a cocky young mechanic in his 20s. He leaned against a toolbox, smirking with his buddies. "You got the cannon detail today? Don't strain yourself, Grandma. Those things are heavy." The others chuckled. Sarah felt a familiar sting, but she kept her face calm. "I've handled worse, Mike," she said quietly, grabbing her toolkit. She walked toward Hangar 7, where the AC-130 sat like a sleeping giant. Its 105 cannon gleamed under the lights, but it needed a deep clean after a training run. Sarah had served 20 years in the Air Force, starting right out of high school in Oak Ridge. She came from a family of farmers, but she wanted more. Enlisting was her ticket out. She rose through the ranks, becoming a loadmaster on those very gunships, but war changes people. Afghanistan had taken a toll, friends lost, missions that haunted her dreams. When she retired, she came back home to Oak Ridge, a suburb with neat lawns and friendly waves. The base job was her way to stay connected without the chaos. As she climbed the ladder to the cannon, Sarah ignored the whispers. "What's a woman her age doing here?" one newbie muttered. "Probably can't even lift a wrench." Mike laughed louder. "Hey, Sarah, if you need help, just holler. We don't want you breaking a hip." Sarah's jaw tightened. She had earned medals for bravery, pulled wounded comrades from fire. But here she was just the old lady. She focused on the work, wiping down the barrel with steady hands. The metal was cool, familiar. It brought back memories of night flights, the roar of engines, the weight of responsibility. Crew Chief Harlan Brooks watched from his office window. In his 50s, Harlan was a no-nonsense veteran with a thick mustache and sharp eyes. He ran the hangar like a tight ship. He knew Sarah's name from the roster, but nothing more. "That Thompson woman," he grumbled to his assistant. "Make sure she doesn't mess up the cannon. Last thing we need is a delay." Harlan had his own ghosts. Vietnam vet, then decades in maintenance. He respected hard work but had little patience for what he saw as weakness. Sarah, to him, seemed out of place. Too quiet, too steady. Women in the force were fine, but at her age, he shook his head. By midday, Sarah was deep into the clean. Sweat beaded on her forehead as she scrubbed the intricate parts. Mike sauntered over, arms crossed. "You know, back in my day, wait, that's your day, we had real pros handling this, not housewives playing soldier." The words hit like a slap. Sarah paused, her eyes meeting his. "I've been a soldier longer than you've been alive, son," she said, her voice even but firm. Mike snorted. "Sure, whatever, just don't scratch it." Sarah turned back to her work, but inside anger simmered. She thought of her daughter, Emily, now in college. Emily knew the stories, how Mom had saved lives under fire, but here no one cared. Sarah pushed on, her emotional strength a shield. She had sacrificed family time, holidays for the uniform. Now this mockery, it hurt, but she wouldn't break. As the afternoon wore on, Harlan stepped out to inspect. He barked orders at the crew, then approached Sarah. "How's it going?" he asked gruffly. "Fine, Chief," she replied, not looking up. Her jumpsuit sleeve rode up, revealing a patch sewn on her inner arm, a small, faded emblem from her old unit, the 16th Special Operations Squadron. It was her lucky charm, a reminder of who she was. Harlan glanced at it casually, then froze, his face drained of color. "Wait, that patch, where'd you get that?" Sarah looked up, surprised. "It's mine from my service." Harlan stepped back, pale as a ghost. "No, it can't be." He turned and hurried away, leaving Sarah puzzled. What had just happened? The crew noticed his reaction. Mike raised an eyebrow. "What's with the chief?" Looked like he saw a ghost. Sarah shook her head, but a spark of curiosity ignited. Little did she know, this was the start of everything changing. The past was about to catch up, and justice was waiting in the wings. Sarah finished her shift that evening with a heavy heart. The mockery from Mike and the others lingered like a bad taste. She drove her pickup back to her modest home in Oak Ridge, a quiet suburb with tree-lined streets and American flags on porches. The town was small, folks knew each other from church or the diner. Sarah's house was a cozy ranch style with a garden she tended for peace. Inside, she kicked off her boots and sank into her armchair. Photos on the wall told her story. Young Sarah in uniform, grinning with her squad, a medal ceremony, Emily as a baby in her arms. But the memories weren't all good. Nights alone, deployments that stretched on. She had given everything to her country only to come home feeling invisible. Back at the base, Harlan Brooks paced his office. The patch, it was unmistakable. The 16th SOS with that specific design from the early 2000s. He hadn't seen one in years. It stirred something deep, a guilt he buried long ago. Harlan had been a young sergeant then, involved in a mission gone wrong. A female loadmaster had saved the day, but credit went elsewhere. Was Sarah her? He pulled out an old file from his desk drawer, yellowed with age. Flipping through, his hands shook. There it was, Sarah Thompson, hero of Operation Night Fury. She had risked her life to secure a downed gunship under enemy fire. Harlan had been there, but he chickened out, letting others take the fall. He got promoted, she got overlooked. Shame washed over him. The next day, Sarah arrived early. The hangar buzzed with activity. Mike and his crew were prepping another AC-130. "Hey, cleaning lady," Mike jeered as she passed. "Chief looked spooked yesterday. What you do, tell him a ghost story." Sarah ignored him, heading to her station. But inside, doubt crept in. Why had Harlan reacted that way? She focused on her tasks, checking hydraulics on the cannon mount. Her hands were steady, but her mind wandered to Afghanistan. Flashback to 2005. Sarah, then 25, strapped into the AC-130. The night sky lit with tracers. "Incoming," the pilot yelled. The plane shuddered from hits. Sarah unbuckled, crawling to the cannon controls. Her team was down, 2 wounded. With bullets whizzing, she fired back, covering their escape. She dragged a comrade to safety, blood soaking her uniform. For that, she earned a silver star, but the brass downplayed it. "Women don't lead in combat," they said. It stung, but she pushed on. Back in the present, lunch break came. Sarah sat alone in the break room, eating a sandwich. The guys laughed nearby. "She's probably here for the pension," one said. "Can't hack real work." Sarah's cheeks burned. She wanted to shout her truths, but pride held her back. Instead, she stood and left quietly. Emotional strength was her weapon, quiet resolve over loud anger. Harlan watched from afar. He needed to confirm. Approaching her later, he said, "Thompson, a word." In his office, he closed the door. "That patch, 16th SOS." "Yes," Sarah said, wary. "Were you on Night Fury?" Sarah's eyes widened. "How do you know that?" Harlan sat, face ashen. "I was there, ground support. You saved us." Sarah felt a rush of emotions, surprise, anger, validation. "You remember." He nodded. "I never forgot, but I didn't speak up back then." The confession hung heavy. Sarah's heart raced. This was the start of unraveling, but outside, Mike knocked. "Chief, issue with the cannon." Harlan waved him off. To Sarah, "We need to talk more." As she left, Mike smirked. "Getting special treatment now? What's your secret, old-timer?" Sarah walked away, head high. The mockery fueled her. She had sacrificed too much to be dismissed. Little by little, her strength showed. That night at home, she called Emily. "Mom, you sound different," Emily said. "Just remembering who I am," Sarah replied. The base rumor mill started. Whispers about Sarah's past. Mike dismissed it. "Nah, she's bluffing." But Harlan dug deeper, pulling old reports. Guilt ate at him. He had to make this right. Sarah's journey to redemption was beginning, but injustice still loomed. The following week, tension hung over Elmwood Base like a storm cloud. Sarah went about her duties, but eyes followed her. The crew chief's odd behavior had sparked curiosity. Mike and his pals ramped up the jabs, testing her. "Morning, hero," Mike said sarcastically as Sarah clocked in. "Heard you and the chief had a heart-to-heart. Spill it, what's the big mystery?" Sarah met his gaze steadily. "None of your business, Mike." He laughed. "Ooh, touchy, bet it's nothing. Women like you always exaggerate." The words cut deep, echoing the old dismissals from her career. Sarah felt the familiar injustice rise, a burning in her chest. She had proven herself in fire, yet here she was, mocked again, but she breathed deep, channeling her emotional strength. "One day you'll learn respect," she said quietly. Harlan, meanwhile, couldn't shake the guilt. He spent nights poring over records. Sarah Thompson, multiple deployments, commendations buried in bureaucracy. He remembered Night Fury vividly, the chaos, the fear. Sarah had charged into danger while he hesitated. His promotion came from silence. Now at 58, retirement loomed. This was his chance for redemption. He called a meeting with base command. "Sir, we have a veteran here who's been overlooked." The commander, a stern colonel, listened. "Thompson, the maintenance worker." "Yes, she deserves recognition." The colonel nodded. "Look into it." Back in the hangar, Sarah climbed aboard the AC-130 for a routine check. The cannon loomed, a reminder of her past. As she worked, flashbacks hit, the smell of gunpowder, the shouts of her team. She had lost friends that night, but saved more. Sacrifice defined her, missing Emily's birthdays, her marriage crumbling under strain. Mike approached, toolbox in hand. "Need help, ma'am? Don't want you hurting yourself." Sarah paused, wiping her hands. "I've loaded these cannons in combat, Mike, while you were in diapers." He scoffed. "Sure, prove it." Before she could respond, Harlan barked, "Mike, office, now." In private, Harlan confronted him. "You don't know who you're mocking. Thompson's a hero." Mike rolled his eyes. "Come on, Chief, she's just an old cleaner." Harlan's face hardened. "She saved lives, including mine indirectly. Show respect." Mike left, grumbling, but seeds of doubt planted. That afternoon, Sarah sat in the suburbs diner, sipping coffee. Oak Ridge felt safe but lonely. An old friend, retired vet Tom, joined her. "Heard rumors at the base. You're past catching up." Sarah sighed. "Maybe it's emotional." Tom nodded. "You've been strong too long. Let it out." Tears welled, but she held them. Strength wasn't absence of pain, it was facing it. Back home, Emily called. "Mom, visit soon. I miss you." "Soon, honey, things are changing." The next day, Harlan pulled Sarah aside. "I confirmed it. Night Fury, you were the one who held the line." Sarah's voice trembled. "Why now?" "Guilt," he admitted. "I should have spoken up then. The brass favored men, you got shafted." Injustice boiled in her. "I lost promotions, respect. For what? Silence." Harlan hung his head. "I'm sorry, I'm pushing for a ceremony. Medals upgraded." Sarah felt a mix, anger, relief. Her journey was turning, but Mike overheard, smirking. "Ceremony for her? This'll be good." He spread doubts among the crew. "She's faking it, watch." Sarah overheard the whispers, heart aching. Mockery persisted, but her resolve grew. She cleaned the cannon with purpose, each stroke a reclaiming. As the week ended, the commander approved. A base event to honor Sarah. Word spread to Oak Ridge, town pride swelled, but Mike plotted a petty sabotage, jealousy fueling him. Sarah sensed the shift. Emotional beats hit, validation mixed with pain. She was no longer invisible, but the twist loomed, justice wasn't free. With the ceremony approaching, Elmwood Base hummed with anticipation. Sarah felt exposed, like a wound reopening. She drove through Oak Ridge's suburban streets, past kids on bikes and families barbecuing. Home felt both comforting and confining. At night, dreams of war returned, explosions, loss. But waking, she saw her strength. A survivor, a mother, a soldier. At work, the mockery softened for some. A few crew members nodded respectfully. "Heard about you, ma'am," one said. "Impressive." But Mike doubled down. "It's hype," he muttered to his buddies. "Chief's going soft." Harlan noticed. He pulled Mike in again. "Drop it, son, or face consequences." Mike sneered. "Why protect her? She's past her prime." Harlan's eyes flashed. "Because she earned it more than you know." Sarah's character deepened. She visited the local VA, sharing stories with other vets. "We all carry scars," she told a young woman, "but they make us strong." Emotional growth showed. Sarah opened up, vulnerability, her new power. Flashback to post-Night Fury, Sarah in a hospital, bandaged. "You did good," a doctor said, but Brass visited. "We'll note it, but combat roles are for men." Her medal was downplayed, Harlan's silence sealed it. She sacrificed career advancement, retiring early for Emily. Now preparing for the ceremony, Sarah polished her old uniform. Emily arrived, hugging tight. "Proud of you, Mom." Tears flowed. "I did it for you, for us." The day before, Mike struck. He tampered with the AC-130's display cannon. Loose bolts, nothing dangerous, but enough to embarrass during the event. Harlan discovered it. "Mike, what the hell?" Mike shrugged. "Just a prank, she'll look foolish." Harlan's face reddened. "This ends now." He confronted Sarah. "Mike's behind sabotage attempts, jealousy." Sarah felt rage, then pity. "He's young, scared of strong women." But injustice peaked. At a crew meeting, Mike blurted, "She's no hero, exaggerated stories." Sarah stood tall. "I've got the records, the scars. What have you got, Mike?" The room quieted. Harlan backed her. She's right, and I was wrong back then. He confessed publicly. In night fury, I froze. Sarah saved the day. I took credit indirectly. Time to set it right. Murmurs spread. Mike's face fell. Respect shifted. That night, Sarah reflected in her garden. Sacrifice weighed heavy, but redemption neared. Emily said, "You've earned this, Mom." The ceremony dawned clear. Base folks, town residents gathered. The commander spoke. "Sarah Thompson, for bravery overlooked, we upgrade your honors." Medals pinned, applause roared. Sarah's eyes misted, justice finally. But Mike approached afterward, head low. "I was wrong, sorry." Sarah nodded, "Learn from it, be better." Her strength shone, forgiveness amid victory. Yet a twist brewed. Harlan revealed more. "There's evidence of brass cover-up, we can expose it." Sarah hesitated. "For what?" "For all women like you." Emotional climax, Sarah agreed. Her journey complete, not yet. The ceremony's glow faded, but Sarah felt reborn. Oak Ridge embraced her, neighbors waved, the diner offered free pie. "Our local hero," they said. Emily stayed a week, bonding over stories. "You sacrificed so much, Mom." "I'd do it again," Sarah replied, voice steady. At the base, change rippled. Crew members sought her advice. "How'd you stay strong?" one asked. "One day at a time," she said. Her emotional depth inspired. Mike changed too. Demoted for sabotage, he worked quietly. One day he approached. "Teach me about the cannon." Sarah smiled. "Sure, respect starts here." Harlan, relieved of guilt, pushed the exposure. "Old reports show bias. We file a formal review." Sarah agreed for others. They gathered evidence, emails, testimonies. The brass resisted, but truth emerged. Months later, a hearing in D.C., Sarah testified. "I fought for my country, but it didn't fight for me." Media caught wind. Headlines, "Forgotten Hero exposes military injustice." The twist, Harlan's full confession, implicated higher-ups. One general, retired in luxury, faced scrutiny. He had buried her file for optics. In a satisfying turn, the general apologized publicly. "I was wrong." Sarah's medals upgraded further, compensation followed. But more, a fund for overlooked female vets. Back in Oak Ridge, Sarah stood at a town parade in her honor. Flags waved, cheers echoed. Mike, now respectful, saluted.